The $54 million Taylors Road Rail Underpass project is a Victorian state government road project being managed by Vic Roads. It is located in St Albans, in the heart of Melbourne's western suburbs. The upgrade replaces a 5-leg roundabout that had the added complexity of rail lines crossing through the centre. With over 180 rail services using the Melbourne Bendigo line each day, the upgrade removes the level crossings at Taylors Road, thereby reducing the potential for conflict between road and rail traffic. Changes include the construction of a 6-lane underpass, new traffic lights at East Esplanade and Kerrison Avenue, new service roads and improved pedestrian paths. Benefits of the project include improved road safety and traffic flow, reduced travel time for road users and the provision of better accessibility to Keilor Plains Railway Station. The project commenced with relocation of services in October 2006, with major works starting in January 2007. It is due for completion in early 2009.
Vic Roads is delivering the Taylors Road project on behalf of the Victorian State Government. We're a project team based in the western suburbs and we deliver a number of road projects, and Taylors Road is certainly our most challenging and our largest project at the moment. The Taylors Road project is the first step in a 3-stage St Albans strategy, and the strategy is really designed to improve access in the St Albans area, and in particular improve access across the Sydenham rail line.
Before any major works could get underway, the existing roundabout had to be closed and traffic relocated to create room to build the new rail bridge. Traffic management was a key task at this time. As local road access had to be changed, driver behaviour needed to adjust to the new conditions. Foundations for the bridge were bored down into solid rock to a depth of 13 metres. A specialised drill rig was brought in from the USA for its capacity to reduce noise and minimise the drilling period. 8 piles were bored in total, 4 for the new rail bridge and 4 for the future rail widening. Works were conducted at night to minimise disruption to rail services.
The Taylors Road project is a very complex job. The big things that we've had to deal with here are the traffic. We spent a lot of time up front on the project getting the traffic into a position so that it was out of the way so we could really get stuck into the works, which has worked really well. Services here have just been amazing. We've got a lot of water mains, gas mains, Telstra, every service we've had here, and we've now got double the amount because we've relocated nearly every single one of them. So every bucket of dirt we dig out, there's some sort of service there.
The bridge was built adjacent to the rail lines on the eastern side of the rail reservation. It was constructed on beams, which would allow it to be pushed into its final position by hydraulic jacks. This technique serves to minimise disruption to rail services, a vital consideration in the planning of this project.
In the rail environment, there's not just tracks, but there's signals and there's overhead and there's possibly crossovers and there's communications, cabling and everything else that goes along with it. And so if you don't look at the full scope and understand the environment that you're in, you can miss these things. And so that when you go to build a bridge, you find that you forgot a signal or you forgot how close the overheads are in relation to the work that you're doing. There's water, there's gas, there's electricity, there's telecommunications, and all that stuff. You don't just come along and dig it up and move it over and get it out of your way in 5 minutes.
Positioning of the bridge was to take place over the course of one weekend in late October 2007 and had to be completed within a 56-hour window.
One of the key drivers with this project is to minimise the impact of the construction works on rail services, and as a consequence we've scheduled all of the works to either occur late at night or by means of a total weekend occupation. And the reason we did it that way is because access to rail services is very important for the people in this area and also for people from the regional centres such as Bendigo, which access the city on this rail line.
We've built it in our head so many times now, I can't think of one thing that's going to come up that we're not going to be able to deal with, which is fantastic. It's great to be in that position. Your site supervisor...
Toolbox coordination meetings ensured that all employees and subcontractors were briefed about site safety, upcoming works and the relevant shift managers. Meetings were held before each new shift throughout the course of the program.
Generally on a day-to-day basis we've got between 30 and 40 people on site, and we've had that since about April this year. This weekend we'll probably have about up to 200 people go through the site with all the different work activities that are going on over the next 56 hours.
With the last train through at 8:40 p.m. on the Friday night, official notification was received, confirming that rail power services were switched off and the rail reservation could be handed over. And with this, the race against time began. The first stage of works was the removal of the existing tracks and ballast and the excavation of the rail abutment to make way for the new bridge. With this accomplished, the sliding beam extensions were put into place and the footings for the approach slabs prepared. Most of the time over the weekend would be taken up with doing excavations and what might be considered the simple things. The pushing of the bridge into place would only take a matter of 5 or 6 hours.
We've worked very closely with the local community during this project. We've done that by means of having a number of open days and community forums where we've sought their input, and where possible we've tried to incorporate their input into the project. And of course the project brings a number of benefits for the local community: better access to the Killer Plains station, better access to residential properties, reduced headlight glare because traffic going along Taylor's Road is in a tunnel rather than at grade.
I think the local community's embraced the project. They've all been pretty anxious to see what we're actually building because it's underground, so no one was really quite sure on how it's going to look in completion. But they're all pretty excited, and they're all looking forward to having that, that train going through without the bells going during the night, and they're all looking forward to getting that traffic well below their residential property area so they can cut out the noise. So yeah, they're all pretty excited.
To push the bridge into position, 2 600-ton hydraulic jacks were used. These jacks would push the 1,200-ton bridge along the 2 extension beams, guiding it into place. This was a crucial stage for the team, as the viability of their timetable relied on getting this massive structure positioned perfectly within the allotted time frame.
There's been a lot of effort put into the planning of it, right down to the last detail. Abigroup, and in conjunction with Vic Roads, made sure that they had an hour-by-hour program to work by. This project's been going for about 2 years, if not more, and we're finally on the night where we're going to shove the bridge into position.
A test push had been done previously, but now was the time to move the bridge the final 15 metres to its ultimate resting place. With the team looking on anxiously, the jacks were brought to bear and the bridge made its first decisive move, sliding over the distance markings placed on the Teflon-coated stainless steel. The ease of the first 3-metre move reduced anxiety and increased anticipation among the team and onlookers. In all, there were 5 staged pushes, each taking approximately 1 hour to do the push and reset the anchor points. The bridge was successfully positioned by 2 a.m. Now it was a race to the finish line to re-establish the rail network in time for rail services to recommence in just a little over 24 hours. Positioning of the approach slabs was a delicate operation, as they had to be lowered into position around the overhead rail infrastructure. The slabs were lifted into place by a 250-ton crane and delicately guided around the overhead lines by the ground team. Each 14-ton approach slab had to be placed with complete precision, making this an extremely difficult task. Once all 4 approach slabs had been positioned, the process of replacing ballast and tracks got underway. The rails were then relinked and the rail infrastructure recommissioned. With major works completed, the only task remaining before rail services recommenced was to recommission the rail signals. At 5:50 a.m. on Monday, all the weekend's coordination and planning, the team's dedication and hard work paid off as the first train, a city-bound passenger service, made its way safely across the new rail bridge.
The weekend occupation went remarkably well. The work stayed on program for the whole weekend, and that's a testament to the way in which VicRoads, Abigroup and the rail organisations worked together over the course of the weekend to ensure a successful outcome. Now that the bridge launch is complete, the next step in the process is to shift the traffic underneath the completed rail bridge. That'll happen progressively over the next few months. And when that's finished, we'll be able to deliver on one of the key aims of the project, and that is to remove the rail level crossing.
The Taylors Road project is an excellent example of the Victorian State Government working together with a range of agencies, authorities, contractors and communities to deliver positive outcomes for all Victorians.